right now.
We live. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon from Florida. Sorry about that. Are we on?
Yep, we're on.
All right, so I'll explain what that sound is that everyone's hearing right now. It's a pest, termite control, and lawn care.
It's not too bad. It's like it's a little, but it's there.
It'll be gone, hopefully soon. But that's a big business around here, and it makes you not feel good about like just
living around there,
breathing, and all that stuff. Because it's just there's like a lot of issues. Like the drinking water here, like the tap water, is really bad.
It's one thing like we definitely take for granted up here.
Like it's not really bad in the sense of I don't think it would kill you to drink it, but it's a word I'm looking for. It's just like heavily treated. You can taste it.
Oh yeah. So they have to be treating it for a reason. So there's something terrible there, something heinous.
Algae, stuff like that. So that was like the first 2 days I was just drinking tap water, like I do in Boston, and I was like actually getting some weird like stomach aches and stuff. So I was like, all right, let's stop this. So now we have like cases of this stuff.
Yeah, which is probably like bottled like up the road from the same water.
Yeah, it's the same. It's a little bit cleaner. They boil it, I hope. But yeah, man. But this is it.
It's closing in on your last days.
I am. I'm like really almost done here. I got just 3 more shows. I got tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. And then I'm back. Like, I'll be back before anyone's awake on fucking Sunday morning.
Nice, because we're going to get some shitty weather, so you're bringing it back.
Yeah, I think, though, I've been watching it closely. I think
Yeah, you're safe.
I'm hopefully just going to kind of land on, like, a rainy day, but it's looking like the temps come back up, like, the second I get back.
Bringing it with you, buddy. How's everything
I
going?
hope so.
Other than that?
I really want to completely dodge the -10, like, under 20-degree days.
I'm pretty sure you did. These are the last days, it feels like. The last rattles.
I hope so. I was saying to you and everybody else that I really wanted a snowstorm.
We got it. It was the first
I've been saying it for weeks. I mean, if you look at Farmer's Almanac type shit, like that's the time, that's the time you're going to have those kind of storms. So I figured there'd be one, but
it wouldn't feel right if we didn't get it too.
Yeah. And that was perfect though, because I heard it wasn't really that bad as far as like the next day and the day after that.
Yeah, there's definitely.
So anyway, we got some issues though. Mike Whitman has strep throat right now. He's
It's just because like you guys are working, you're all close together, like so there's like weird shit passing like back and forth probably. We all got
kind of a 24-hour cold at least one day, all of us.
Early on too? Is that like a flight thing or?
I don't know. I actually thought it was like allergies because down here it's spring and everything's in bloom, and I just figured like, hey, we're breathing in dust and all this weird shit. We're swimming in a swimming pool.
It definitely makes sense.
Coming into AC right after going swimming. It's like it's a whole thing.
Sorry, I'm trying to monitor the other side too. It can be very confusing.
Is like, nothing worse than I'm sure you're doing a lot of work. I'm just staring into a laptop here in Cape Coral, Florida.
Cape Coral. All right.
So today, me and Jimmy went to go play bingo.
Awesome.
At a bingo hall. Sounds great in theory. Something we wanted to do.
I've been to a big one before too, and it is kind of cool, but I've never, like a Florida one seems like it's definitely just all old people. Like it's definitely all old people.
Well, also we were going at 11:30 a.m., noon. We were trying to find, it was just like, we went to one and it was closed. And then I called another one and they were closed, but they were like, Palmetto, you can go to Palmetto, they're running during the day. So we go there. And it's just like filled with cigarette smoke.
Oh yeah.
No one calls the numbers anymore, so it's just you just stare at the board and wait.
Oh, so it's like almost like it's like a digital screen or something, or?
Yeah, exactly. Like the biggest disappointment the biggest disappointment was that it's like this kind
That's
of
sad.
screen, right?
Yeah.
But the biggest disappointment was it takes like 2 hours minimum to play bingo, which I did not know. I thought we could sit there and play a couple games, kill a half an hour, and bounce. The way he's like, nah, that's not how it works. You got to sit through
bingo.
the whole like chunk of time. And I was like, so then we left, and it was just filled with butt smoke. It was so nasty.
So you should have done the church. The church would have been better.
I know.
You're right.
But we did have fun though, because after we went to Mike Greenwell's like amusement park that he built, which is very tiny and empty. But we went there and raced go-karts for a little while, and that was fun.
That's fun.
The video of that is on Twitter and Instagram. But we're having a lot of fun, man. I met, hung out with Ryan Brazier last night, reliever for the Red Sox.
Okay, cool.
Did Brad Foe's podcast. Hung out with Brad Foe again. So.
Yeah, I'm psyched about that. I'm a big fan. So I'm very psyched.
Yeah, Brad Foe's all you think he would be and more.
He's training for a marathon now. Like he's doing a lot of shit. It's pretty bad.
He's running 17 miles a day down here, or a couple of days, which is insane because it's so bad down here to run. I mean, the weather's beautiful, but the humidity on some days is impossible. But yeah, it's funny, man. I had it was funny. I was at this table, and this guy Chris Cotillo, he writes for like Mass Live and a few other things, and he's like, this is so-and-so from The Athletic. This is so-and-so from the Boston Globe. This is so-and-so from MLB.com. This is so-and-so from... So it was just the Red Sox writers from each, like, main site, you know what I mean?
It's pretty crazy.
It was a lot like meeting a ton of comedians at once. They have a similar... It's kind of a similar job, a similar vibe off those guys. Like, the whole...
I think it's all freelance type people kind of have the same... Strippers, too. Strippers.
Yeah. We're all just like, this is it. This is my lot. It's our lot in life, bro. But yeah, it's been cool. It's weird, man. It'll be 16 days when I'm done, and that's such a long time. Like Jimmy's down here for a month. Everyone's doing different chunks of time, but 16 days is, I feel like I live here now. Like I have a routine. We go to the same Starbucks every day. We do these gigs every night. I've almost gotten used to seeing. Yeah, and I've gotten used to like being at the ballpark all the time and just hanging out with.
Do you have like a Cumberland Farms down there that they all know you? Like, have you adapted to that?
It's JetBlue Park.
Yeah, they don't really have.
I go to the ballpark now. It's just all hello, because I know I'm there every day. So it's been that's been cool.
What about comedy-wise? Has it been like a weird training thing for you? Not that you do stuff every night, but this is different. This is like regimented. It's the same place. Like, so it's kind of almost like
it is weird. I was saying that a few days in. I was like, man, it feels kind of like a cruise ship or a casino because you're in the same place.
You might as well be on a boat. Like,
it does feel that way sometimes. It's been weird. We've had a lot of people who come over and over and over again. That's kind of weird because if like half the crowd has never seen you before, but 4 people have seen you 5 times this month. You want to throw in some stuff for those people, but you don't want to ruin the whole show either.
Yeah. They know what they're doing too, though. If they go to that many, they kind of get it. They have to.
It's been interesting. I'm just kind of. I think everyone who's been here for more than 2 weeks is starting to kind of get. I wouldn't say homesick, but just. We all miss our regular shit. Shit's different down here. Everything's slow. There's no weed. And the weed you can get is terrible. It's just that there's gun stores everywhere, dude. All right, so like I could say I'm trying to think of a comparison, but almost as much as you could get iced coffee and it's like they took all the iced coffee away and replaced it with guns.
Yeah, it's like Dunkin' Donuts, guns.
Every strip mall has a gun place.
It's like the Cinnabon.
Yeah, just there. It's like Five Guys, guns, a dollar store, strip malls everywhere. Trump people flying Trump flags.
Oh yeah, Trump
big Trump country. We have our rental car has New York plates, so people just fucking hate us. You know, I'm looking at a gecko right now. That's probably maybe my favorite part of the trip is geckos running about.
That's cool. That would be cool if we could have that in Southie somehow.
I would appreciate that. They're fun little animals. They're not as gross as some things. You know what I mean? I don't know why. They're vermin, but they don't feel like vermin.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the pest guy across the street and looking at this gecko watching the pest guy like he knows. Anyway. But it's yeah, it's cool. I'm not in some ways I'm really looking forward to coming home. In other ways I'm kind of like I feel like I could stay here forever.
Yeah, because it's just like a pause of your regular life is fun, even if your regular life is fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's been nice to just. We have a very big house here too, so it's kind of that I've gotten used to too. It's just we have a lot of space, a lot of privacy if you want it. So it's been pretty cool, man. You know, last night I was the last. Most nights I'm the last one asleep. I just smoked a little bit and I went out and walked around, and there you can see the stars pretty clearly down here. So I had my star app on the phone, where you can like hold it up and look at. It'll tell you what you're looking at.
Yeah.
So I was out there like stoned at like 12:30, looking at the stars, and like no fear at all of anyone saying or even seeing you. It's just like dead here at 10 p.m. No one's doing anything. We're dead at all. You know what I mean?
We're getting a little bit of a slow connection on you, but I think it will pop back. You're just buffering a little bit.
Turn the Wi-Fi. I just got an email, so maybe it was.
Yeah, it's all right. I think it's gonna come and go. I don't think we can really. I don't think we can fix this.
I've had some slight internet problems here with their internet at this point. Clear day.
Yeah, we're getting very poor connection. We'll see if it pops
Right
back
now.
in. Let's give it a second. I think it will come back. Oh. Do you want me to try to restart it? Because you're completely out now. It's a good picture. I'm gonna try again. Okay. Here we go. Let's try again. Boom, boom. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Stop that. Let's see. This is the weirdest fucking show.
Just trying to answer it.
There you go. I can hear you. It takes a second to pop in, but you sound better already. There you
Hey,
go. We're back.
Yeah, for me, you were that nothing bad happened over here.
Yeah. Shit happens, man. I don't know. We're gonna always have to play with the Skype thing. It's just gonna be.
Yeah,
like
Skype's gonna be a little bit of an issue. I've got two guests for us.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
It looks perfect right now. So
What happens? Look at the difference between the sun here.
Yeah. That's the before and after.
Oh, truck's off.
Ooh, it's nice.
Right, you hear that?
I don't hear it. There we go. What do you want to start with? How about the HIV cure? Because that's pretty badass.
We've been talking about that around here, buddy, as we butt fuck each other without fear.
We're like, finally. No, it's a little bullshit, though. Did you read into it?
I don't want to. I just want to read the good headline that makes me feel good.
Well, it originally happened.
Isn't that what we do now, Paul? Just read headlines and then go, good, and then move on with our lives?
Well, it originally happened years ago. It was a treatment for, I think, some kind of cancer. And they took like a bone marrow from a person that was genetically already I don't know how you'd say it, but they could not get HIV genetically. There's like 1% of the European population that can't get HIV.
I should have it.
Yeah, but
Lord knows what I was doing. Even I don't know what I did for a lot of time in the early 2000s. Jesus,
take the wheel. No, but it's not like a legitimate cure because it's only like it can only come from marrow stem cells from marrow from this type of person, and then it's a very small group of people that are getting benefit from this.
The
Doesn't mean
stem
it's not
cell thing
awesome.
is not even legal in the U.S. right now, right?
I don't think so. I think I don't know about for that. Like there's a lot of stem cell you can do in America, but I'm not sure about that one at all. So that's good though.
Yeah,
Figuring shit
there's
out.
I still think it's good news though. I mean, as far as stuff like that goes, I always feel like it does always start that way, right? Like it starts with only a few people this will work for, and it's not really the perfect cure. But then before you know it,
Exactly. It might give you like a little insight on some mechanism that you can trigger with another
yeah,
something else that could accomplish the same thing in the end. They usually
exactly.
figure out a lot of stuff from not actively figuring it out, but just like that old Phineas Gage thing, the dude on the so in all in, like the psychology books, Railroad Spike goes through his head,
Oh, yeah.
changes all his like he was like a dick actor. I don't remember the whole thing. He was a nice
I remember
guy.
that. Yeah.
Then he's like a douchebag. But what they really understood was this part of the brain, and it's what makes you nice. No, but like
Sam Kinison, they say, was like that.
yeah,
He was hit by a car and just a dick for the rest of his life.
yeah, just turns the manic energy on. It's good though.
I mean, I think it's good. It's good. Imagine if you had AIDS or HIV, you'd hear that and you'd be so happy.
Too. Well, the good thing, like the cocktail of drugs, are pretty good. Like you'll live a long life anyway now. Like people don't so much die like they used to in this country at least. I don't know about the rest of the world.
Yeah, I mean, I think pretty much in America, it's definitely not a death sentence anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I mean, it's a death sentence on Tinder, I'll tell you that, but it's not a death sentence for the person. I think a lot of people take that, and I know there's that drug PrEP that gay guys take, which is you take it before you get HIV, but if you're having, have you ever heard of that?
No.
Jim Norton takes it. He doesn't have HIV, but he takes it,
So
and it's like
so it must be some kind of like antiviral or something that just in case some AIDS gets in your system, you get a little AIDS.
if you
It
get a little
knocks it
AIDS, PrEP will. You're already on the path. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
don't.
I think I have. I think I've seen the commercial. I think I've seen
Yeah.
and it's like a real vague, weird commercial.
Yeah, and they sometimes have ads on the subway too. They also have ads in New York. They used to have a lot of ads for gay domestic violence. They used to always be
That's
like,
definitely got to be a thing. Two gay
they
dudes just wailing on
always,
each other. Tons of
always
testosterone.
think about it, right?
Yeah.
And there
Oh,
used to be ads all the time saying like, you might think it's all right because you're both men or da da da. And I was like, God, I never even thought about that. If two gay guys get in a big enough fight, they just duke it out. Imagine if you and your girl eventually could just like
Really?
that's it.
Yeah, exactly. It'd probably be healthy, but
I mean, if it makes a ton of sense that it happens, because if it happens with straight couples, obviously it's gonna happen.
and it's usually the male aggressor. Like I know like that people want to say
Sometimes.
the story. It's more men are more aggressive. Like it's just kind of how it is. Like
Sometimes
yeah.
I think there's plenty. I think in most domestic violence situations it is probably the man, but I think in a lot of those one night, it's not an every night thing, but just that once in a while. I
Um,
had I had a chick one time who used to get drunk and get like physical,
yeah.
and I was just be
Turn on
like,
some Madonna and just
yeah, you just let's get physical. Yeah, I'd just run off. I'd be like, all right, I'm getting the fuck out of here before you scratch me up and scratch you up, and then
yeah,
we're both cops.
exactly. All right. Here's a good news story. Did you see this one? It's famous sea serpent stories might have actually been whale penises. So I thought this would fit right
From
into.
cocktails to
Yeah.
cocks.
It makes sense though when you see it too. I don't know if you can see it on the delay, but it's
I can't see anything. I look at my.
you don't have to. It's basically what you'd think. First is a drawing of this. This is a good way for me to do the podcast side or just the audio side anyway. It's basically a drawing of a sea serpent, and then the next is an actual picture, and it's a whale dick just like cascading out of the ocean, and it looks exactly the same thing. It's fucking, I'm convinced it's what's going on.
This is great. I didn't realize that my head was so like I'm just this huge face.
So it's the only way I can do it with the browser at the same time.
I don't mind.
No, I could see people walking around earlier.
um, it's oh, dude, I'm looking at it right now. That is so funny, dude. And I totally believe that.
It's definitely
I've
true.
talked about that. Wasn't I saying that to you
Maybe.
recently where I was like, man, like after my first night here, I went for a walk and I heard this huge just commotion coming from the water and I couldn't see anything. And I was thinking, this is where all that stuff comes from because your imagination just fills in
Exactly.
the gaps
Exactly. It's a hundred
within a
percent, man.
second.
Especially
That
city people too. Like we're like conditioned to like be in a perfect sterile environment. Like
Dude, sometimes here we've gone places, like we went to this beach and like we had to drive through some like country to get there. And I've developed this weird thing from being a comedian where like when I'm in the country, I get like anxiety, and then I'll see a gas station or something, and my anxiety will immediately go away. So it's just this idea of constantly being lost and wanting to know where like,
just
you can
some
get
landmark.
food, water, a
Gas.
toilet, like gas. It's there. I know where that is.
Yeah.
When I start to see, I've developed this weird thing where when I start to see like McDonald's and TGI Fridays, I'm like, okay, like
Here we are.
we're in a place
Civilization.
where, yeah, exactly. It's very weird.
Well, you used to tell me about that about hospitals, and that freaked me out. Like you, like I'd be like X amount of miles away from a hospital.
I don't do that anymore, but I still think about that all the time. Like, like when I get a hotel room or something and it just happens to be on this, like right near the hospital, I always go, that's nice. Like, great. I like that. I think about that down here though. I said that to Jimmy. We're in this beach community, not now, but we visited this like coastal beach community. And I'm like, all right, so you're at the oldest point of your life where you're going to have the most health problems, the biggest chance of a sudden heart attack or something like that. So you move away from Boston, where all the best heart doctors and all the best hospitals are, down to Florida, and then you live in the country of Florida. So if you start to get sick and need rapid care, it's like an hour before anyone. It takes a half hour for the ambulance to get to you, and then you get in it, and then you got to get to the hospital. It's like I think that's a big sacrifice. People act like that's a nothing thing, but I
Well,
think that's
plus
kind of
everything's dangerous too down there. Like nothing's,
that. We have a lot. There's a lot of
especially for an old person.
prehistoric type things. The driving down here is really poor. People don't like people always go in Massachusetts. People don't use blinkers. It's like they don't use blinkers here at
What is
all.
that? Is that the, I know there's no income tax, right? Is that what just fucks everything up?
I have no, dude. This is not my original thing, but the Nesson guys, like the Nesson camera guys, were talking about like swamp brain and how you kind of get it while you're here, and it's so true, man. That's one thing. Talking about being on stage every single night, right? Even though I'm doing shows every night, and even though I've been here for I've been here like 2 weeks now. Um, I feel it on stage. It's like there's molasses between my brain and my mouth that used to not be there. Just ever so slight, ever so like minuscule, but I just get these like on stage I'll stutter a little bit or something or just everything, and it's just the weather and the humidity. You just get kind of it slows everything down, man.
It
You get
seems
very
quiet there. Like I feel like I can listen to like an abyss right now when I'm listening,
yeah. Yeah, listen, like all right, the truck just went by.
and then nothing,
It's just nothing.
nothing.
It's birds.
It's birds. It's nature. It's that nice sound. It's nice though. It's good. You probably need it. Your
That
brain
was the
probably
best.
is
Oh,
like
I needed it bad.
super go 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 go.
I needed it bad. As soon as I got off the plane, I was like, I heard some birds chirping, and the nice breeze hits you, and you're like, ah. That's why it's going to be a little bit of a rough. Probably gonna have a rough 2 weeks until
Yeah,
it starts to get nice again.
you have to like decompress like 100%.
I know, which I won't. I'm getting right back into. I'm hitting the ground running right when I come back. So
Do you have anything Sunday? Do you at least give yourself Sunday off?
yeah, I have Sunday off, but that's it.
There you go.
And but my parents like are going out of town. They did not Oh, they consulted me about 300 times, but that means nothing when they completely disregard whatever you say. Because they asked me like 300 times what my schedule was in March. I gave it to them 300 times, and they're still going to Florida
The exact same time.
a day after I leave. I wanted us to be here at the same time. Nope. They want me to watch their house, not anyone else, right? So they are leaving for Florida like the day after I get back. So I might get one night in my own bed, which I probably won't because I'll sleep with my girls probably. Then I have a couple gigs in Springfield, so I'll be spending the night there one of the nights. But that was the whole deal. I was like, Mom, Dad, like I love watching your house. I don't mind doing it. But man, like it's the day after I get back. I gotta go over there. I have all these gigs set up. One of them is in an overnight gig, and it was supposed to be a few days, but actually they cut one of the shows. So now I'll only be spending one night in Springfield, but I'll be driving back from the gig. Like I won't be back until 1 a.m. or something. But it doesn't really matter. Because then after that, that's the whole thing. I'm just trying to cram in as much as I can because
Summers are light. Yeah, so
summers are light. So I'll get my time.
yeah,
And
exactly.
like it's funny though. This has been. I wouldn't call this a vacation. You know what I mean? Because
No.
I've maybe only had 2 days where I like was kicking it during the day. Most of the time, I've either been
It's a
at a
lot
ball.
more than what you usually have to do, to be honest. Like
In
you
a
said.
sense, it's like the same. It's nice to not have. I thought I was gonna really hate not having a car, but it's actually turned out to be one of my favorite parts. It's just I haven't driven
No
other than
worry
the
about
go
parking.
day. Don't have to worry about parking anywhere. You don't have to worry about anything. So that's been kind of nice. It'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to kind of like getting back and just getting my car back and get my bong back. Stuff like that. But I don't know. I think this is going to become a yearly thing. So
Yeah,
there's
it
some talk
definitely
about.
is. There's no way. All like the little things I've seen about it, people have loved like the whole little experience of it. So I
Yeah,
think it's
man.
definitely gonna.
I think it's gonna. I think next year they want to do a reality television
Which
show
is
about us.
hilarious. Which would be amazing if they really do that.
Yeah, and it's funny that the unreality has already begun because I was like, my girlfriend's got to come down for a little while, but she can't be on camera. So the lies have already started with the reality show. But so I hung out with Ryan Brazier, and this is kind of funny. Like you expect, one thing I'll say about the athletes is like they're just not like you'd really, or a few of them, they're not like what you'd expect. They're nicer guys than you would think, and they're less intense than you would think when they're not on television playing
Yeah,
baseball.
exactly. Not turned
Yeah,
on.
yeah, like especially the pitchers, you think they're all like dickheads. I always kind of did, or assumed that they're at least not talkative dudes or anything like that. But a lot of them are just regular guys, and uh, that's been kind of nice. But I've also seen, not on the Red Sox side as much, but you see these ball players and they get shit from the JetBlue Stadium's so much smaller and more intimate that you can kind of hear the heckles a lot more like throughout the whole stadium. And I did see like a few of these guys getting kind of salty with fans. I'm like, dude,
It might be fun for them though too. Some people might like that. Like someone's like
th-
heckling back. It's
yeah,
weird.
or play the heel a little bit and just
Yeah.
glare. But A-Rod is at the park.
Ah.
He was at the park yesterday and today, and they have full security for A-Rod, and they don't want him. They don't even let him out to walk around like while the fans are in there because they just don't want anything to happen.
It makes sense though. People are crazy. He's too big. It makes
Oh
sense.
yeah, and people, it's just gonna be fuck yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Where's J Lo?
But yeah, but that's been cool. So anyway, what else we got? Let's do another story.
So I'm trying to figure out what we have. Skip the wasp one. Wasp can take control of all sorts of shit. It's not a good one.
I've seen some big ones around here, man. That's a great episode of Hypothetically. If anyone wants to listen to it, is the episode where I had a wasp's nest in my air conditioner. Got them out with smoke.
It makes sense. At least it's on brand.
I threw a piece of printer paper, crumpled up, put it in a bowl, lit it on fire, put it in the room, ran out.
That's pretty good.
Wasn't bad, right?
This story's freaking me out a little bit. It's, Fukushima nuclear disaster. Kind of forgot about it, if I'm being completely honest. But they're still getting like a lot of trouble. They only can have robots working on this shit. It's way too hot, way too much radiation still. That's a long time ago. That doesn't freak anyone else out. I think that's insane.
It's a really long time ago.
It was 2011.
Well, I mean, even Chernobyl is robots.
No, I know.
Wasn't there a guy though who went in there to do something? I remember reading a story a couple of years ago about old elderly people in Japan volunteering to do stuff at Fukushima because they were like, I won't live long enough to get
such a different culture than ours.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like,
it'd be the opposite here. It'd be like, send babies. They haven't lived.
Yeah. Or it's like, if you or any of your family have been affected by the Fukushima radiation,
come to this. Yeah, that's exactly what it would be. I see Harry. Harry just came home. He's our this guy Harry's a character, dude. I already texted my chick when I got here. I was like, if we ever have a baby, we should name him Harry because it's the funnest name to just say 1,000 times a day. Harry, 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 Harry. So I kind of drive Harry crazy a little bit. He's a producer for the show, and he's also been he helps us. He drives, he gets stuff. He like makes sure the place is not too dirty.
So he's like he's your keeper.
Yeah, he's kind of like a fixer. Here he comes right now. Harry! I'm doing my show.
Twix bar.
Oh my God, what a guy. He brought me a Twix bar.
See
what I'm talking about?
Keeping his energy up.
I was just saying that you're the glue that's holding us all together here. Oh, thank you so much. Will you say hello? You pop your head in for 1 second.
Hey, what's happening?
This is Harry. Lean down.
Thanks for taking care of him, Harry.
One of my best friends.
Hey, buddy. Love this guy. He's the man.
I'll get that. Oh, man. How do I get this?
Enjoy. Thanks.
Sit on the head. This is the life, man.
So you need a fixer in real life. You need someone to do that for you every day anyway.
It's been nice. It's nice having a Harry. And
if you get an assistant in the future, you should have to call him Harry anyway, even if it's not his name.
I mean, yeah, he's way overqualified for that. He does a lot. But we're going to be actually, Harry produces a ton of stuff up in Boston, which I didn't know because he mostly does. He used to do comedy, and then he got into other things. But now he's getting back into comedy. We're in talks about maybe doing like a bowling comedy type thing because he's connected to some bowling alleys.
That's awesome.
I went bowling down here too, by the way.
Cheating.
It was like didn't have my ball, didn't have my custom ball, didn't have my shoes. The lanes were not oiled well, Paul.
Which I never knew about until you started telling me about.
Yeah, I even think the pins didn't, like, I was like, the pins don't sound right. They don't sound right. They don't sound like bowling pins.
I need that clack, clack.
I was like, they sound plastic. What the fuck? So I was like, I'm such a bowling snob now. I really could feel it.
It's the humidity. The pins soak up the humidity differently.
Something was off. I think it was like entertainment. You know, it was all kinds of shit playing everywhere, lasers. It wasn't like, it's like, fuck all this, man.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm here to bowl.
Yeah, it's
all
not
right?
a mushroom trip. Get out of here.
Here to bowl strikes. But yeah, so we only went the one time. It's expensive. But you could say I saw a couple bowling psychos there, like myself, who were just doing their best, getting their practice in.
You saw Florida Will.
Yeah, Florida Will. There's some cool shit down here. Like, I'm trying to think. I've met some cool people, but most of the people you meet who are really cool, I hate to say it, they're from someplace else. And they're still in that glow of like, yeah, I live here, I got a house here, you know?
Yeah.
And they're still like...
Eats them alive.
Yeah, or you get a lot of people who just come here they come down in October and they leave in April.
Yeah, they go to the
'Cause this-
Cape.
I guess the summers here are really, really bad.
Whoop.
Like it's like 100 and humid and disgusting. So I'm looking at the chat on my phone a little bit.
Oh.
Rob Saul, who's got a great show of his own. He's watching, so I appreciate that, man.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah, man. See, that's my swamp brain. Do you see what I just did there? I was like, Rob, appreciate Rob.
Did you see this story? Missing man and dog found safe in Colorado. They survived 5 days in the snow on taco sauce from Taco Bell alone.
I did read that story, as a matter of fact, Paulie.
He didn't even. They didn't ask him if he thought about eating his dog, which I thought was like the question. That's the question I wanted to know. Cause
Me and Jimmy said that too. We were like, first of all, he was really smart. He turned on his car a little bit here and there. Yeah. Very smart move. It would be so tempting when that heat kicks in, to be like, let's just leave it running.
You just want to like blow your heat load instead of heat. He was practice like heat edging.
Yeah. What if he came?
There we go. We're back.
What if he came in and he was like, you vibe on ducks for.
Damn it! All right, Will, I'm losing you again. So I'm gonna reset it one more time. We're gonna be right back. Yeah, it already lost. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, Will Noonan call ended. Let's call him right back. 2 microphones. There we go. Come on. This can't be the end. What do we got here? Those are the questions I always want to see, though. Like, not that I want him to eat the dog. I just want them to ask him if he thought about eating the dog. Okay, Will isn't online, so we're going to keep trying. We're at the end of the show almost anyway. So we got to get him in here for the last couple things. Let me find our next thing while we're doing that. Done, Will? All right. So let's see what else we have. Dog Park Debbie. Then we have our Just Shave It Bro at the end. Okay, I'm going to try it one more time. It's all right, buddy. It's all right. I see Will in the chat. He says he's trying. I think it's just a weird connection, and we're just dropping in and out. But we'll let that connect, and I'll get this going, too. So for this week's Just Shave It Bro, we'll get a man. So the perfect one. So the perfect face you want for Just Shave. When you give an 89-cent tip for almost 30-minute drive. Yeah, so we don't need to see his balls. But allegedly, he dipped his testicles in, which means... Okay, so I'm going to keep going because Will's internet is out. If not, we'll have him call in at the end, and we can just sync up this. Ooh, okay, so he's restarting, so I'm going to stop calling him. We can just pull up this. So how can I do this without showing this guy's testicles? I'll hide his testicles with my head. So if you're listening to this just audio, there's a guy, a food delivery guy. I think he's pissed over a low tip. That's what it says here. So instead of just dipping... Feels good on my balls. Oh! What was that? My head. There you go. Look at that. That's the face of a Just Shave. Oh, come on. Come on, New York Post. Get that shit back up there. Can we just get a picture on him? Okay, so Will isn't online. We're going to give him another... Let's give him another 30 seconds. And then we'll try to call him again. Boom. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the just shave it, bro. And it's always deviant behavior. That's the weirdest thing that I'm finding out about all this. Okay, here we go. Let's try this again. And if not, we'll have him call in and then we'll finish it. We got a kind of like a rehash story. Got a couple things left. Okay, so he's definitely not. Let's see if I can hook this up real quick and we can call him. We'll do it that way. So this is a story we had earlier, which was yeah, we're not getting him. Ooh. But a teacher allegedly had sex with a 13-year-old student while his friend watched. But now we've gotten the text messages, which are pretty ridiculous. It's exactly what you expect, and she's a mental midget. Like, she's definitely... It makes sense that she was going after a... whatever he was, a 13-year-old. So, thinking about your sexy self. It's just, like, exactly what you imagine. But what the worst part of this story is... Yeah, Skype's the worst. So Will's trying to connect, but here, let's see. I'll try to connect and I'll mute that noise. That's probably the smartest way to do this, right? Okay, so Will can see it. So he's on. Here we go. She's definitely hot, but she's definitely insane. But what I was trying to say is that I can't concentrate on two things. I apologize. But the worst part of this thing is the kid's friend is what screwed this whole thing up. Not that we want teachers banging 13-year-olds. You don't. You definitely don't. But the real issue is, come on, like he's never going to get this opportunity again. Sex has probably been ruined for the rest of his life. So you have to milk that for as long as possible. Like, the fact that his friend pushed him there, it just doesn't make any sense. What else do we have? This is a great story. I'm the only one who remembers this. This is like one of those Mandela effect things. But years ago, LL Cool J jumped on a stage. I've looked like into this, and this is the only little article I can find. Okay, we're gonna try to connect to Will while we're doing this. Oh, or maybe we're not, because we're starting a router. But years ago, LL Cool J must have been stoned as hell. That's the only thing that makes any sense of this. He's watching a play. He thinks a wall is coming down or something like that, a part of the set. He thinks he's going to save this woman. He jumps on the stage to help her, only to find out that that's a movable set. And that's part... Okay. Connecting... Let's see. No, we're still not there. But it's kind of like a sad story. And it's like you could easily just make it about LL Cool J as a joke. I get it. The stone guy jumped on stage. I can't even find pictures of it. It's just this. Okay, we get some issues here, computer. But the worst part of it is, this guy, he's just trying to be a hero. And this is forgotten in time. What else do we got before I can start this one more time? Oh, this is a good one. Okay, sorry, buddy. I'll just wait for you. So when you tell me to try again. Whoop, now my stuff's freezing. Ooh, cancel that. LL Cool J, though, I don't really know where he's gone since, because I don't think we really know too much about him now. He's kind of disappeared. Is that true? It's hard to do this side without... Okay. This is an amazing story. As my computer breaks. So this kid explains why he built a nuclear reactor in his room, and basically it's just because he figured out he could build a nuclear reactor in his room. This kid scares me though because he has a bow tie on. But Memphis native Jackson Oswalt is a pretty normal 8th grader in most regards. He plays tennis, runs cross country, loves hanging out with his friends, loves SpongeBob, Fortnite, all sorts of shit. He also built a nuclear reactor in his house. Think about that for a second. Think about what you were doing at 14. Like this other kid over here was getting a blowjob from his teacher at 13. So it might even be the same kid. Maybe that's what happened. At 13, he was getting a blowjob. His friend nicks that shit in the bud. He obviously needs to like put that time, that energy somewhere. And you got this. You got a nuclear reactor. Here we go. I think Will's back. Which is good because slipping into nonsense. Ooh. I think we're back. Are we not back? You motherfucker, Skype. There we go. Think we're back, Will. No? We're not back. Skype's the worst. Does anyone else have to use Skype? Okay, we're trying again. Maybe we're both trying at the same time. Okay, come on, Skype. I hear him. What's up, buddy?
Hey.
We're back.
Oh man. Yeah, it was I've been having some
It's just
our router fuck up.
It's just gonna happen. It's just like you
Yeah.
can never. It's the internet, man. I don't see you yet, but I think it's gonna pop in a second.
I can't see you at all, but I can hear you. That's fine. And
You're back. Oh.
I think you were doing a great job. I was like, you losing me again?
No, I can hear you. I think it's.
That's fine, right?
Yeah, let's just try to go with that. I think you're gonna pop in and out.
I should be good. I see a full signal here, but I don't know.
Okay, cool. I think it's good.
If you want to try one more time and get the video, that's fine. But if you want just the voice, because it's working.
We're definitely good. We're back.
All right, man. I'm happy with that. Yeah, you were doing well, Paul. I mean, you're a pro, man.
Not really. If I could only just jabber, I could do that. But then I start to realize like people are actually there.
But you had to. Yeah, I saw you. You had to. Hey, I see you.
All right, cool. All right, so
It really wasn't that bad. What was that? 5 minutes of technical problems right there, maybe.
Whatever, man. It's gonna happen. It's technology. That's why you do it live. We could easily not do this live, and we could make it all nice, but it's not fun to do it like that. It's more fun to do it like this.
Motherfucker.
No net.
Damn right. Okay, look at the chat too. I mean, that was gold right there. So let's look at this sexy bitch teacher. We were talking about her.
Yeah.
We were talking about her down here too.
Well, it was like an update in the story where they kind of released like a bunch of text messages. Basically, how it all went down was the kid's friend ratted him out completely. The kid's friend watched him get blown, didn't get blown, which is probably the issue. And then
that would be. I have to admit, I was that kind of kid who not. I probably would have been the type of kid who was like, "This isn't right."
That's exactly what happened too.
Like it gives me bad feelings at night. Oh, hear those birds, Polly?
It almost sounds fake. It's so good.
Isn't it nice? That's probably love them. They got some cool ass birds down here too, man. Shit you never seen. They have eagles everywhere.
That's pretty badass.
Florida Panthers. I haven't seen one though. I still have not seen one alligator either.
That's crazy. That's scary because they're there.
I know. I haven't really sought them out or anything, but I have not seen one.
See, that's the good thing. Like you said that on the last show about not having Massachusetts weed. It's such a brilliant point. Like it's not a place to have that kind of like schizophrenic weed.
That's kind of true, actually. I was thinking that. I was thinking that on the plane. I was like, I don't know how some people get high and get on planes, because if I was like too high right now on this plane, it would be the worst experience of all time. Like just.
Especially like people are like, oh, you don't fly well. Here's an edible. It's like, oh, I've never taken an edible before. It's just a little bit. You're fine.
Yeah, people do that all the time.
People are so laissez-faire with edibles. It scares me.
Yeah, well, they don't know, and then they. I always feel like that's bad because then they don't smoke weed ever because they're
Exactly.
like,
That's what I say to people too. Like, even if you're gonna smoke a tiny amount your first time. Like a small, like this is
one hit.
This is high grade stuff now. We're not messing around.
Take a hit, give yourself 2 minutes.
Yeah.
No, give yourself 20 minutes.
And don't do it if you're drunk. Don't do it
Yeah.
as like a secondary thing, because like
That's the people who, a lot of the people who say, I can't smoke weed. I don't do it. Doesn't agree with me. A lot of those people they mix it with either other drugs or anything like that. Well, while we're on like a fishy Skype thing, let me at least like
whoa.
what the background looks like here. Oh, I completely froze it, didn't I?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it'll come back. It's just
Well,
got
that's
a buffer. It's just like,
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
hey, Will, split happens.
Split happens. I love this shirt.
Did you see any of the Momo challenge stuff while you're down there? People in
I
Florida
did see.
freaking out about that?
Kind of scared me a little bit. No one was freaking out about it down here, but I saw the article and I was like, that's a terrifying piece of artwork right there.
Like
But
Michael Jackson.
it's just like Bloody Mary. If we had the internet back when we were kids, there'd be something we'd all be afraid of,
I think it's been proven to be a complete hoax, and the only real outrage, like the reaction to it, is what created like a bigger storm. Like I don't think it was ever really even in videos originally, and then it was after. It was like
Yeah, it makes you think actually about how much of life is that, right? How much of life is just no one's actually really freaking out about this. People are just freaking out about the possibility of freaking out.
Yeah, exactly.
Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida. Made a Florida point right there. The whole thing about Florida that is true, though, is like the Florida man thing. I know I saw you doing the Just Shave It, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Dudes like that on TV every morning. All right, this is last night's news story. You'll love this. Guy was arrested because he went to CVS and printed out child porn and then used his CVS card to pay, so he saved some money, and that's how they tracked him down to his house and everything. And then they went to his house and they found tons more child porn.
It makes sense.
I'm like, this all happened in an afternoon in Florida, in the place where I am, like in this part of Florida. There was another guy. I told you I saw these two guys getting arrested. They're wicked bad here with like DUIs and stuff like that. They'll pull you over, and the way people who live down here kind of say it is, if you get pulled over here, you have a really good chance of going to jail, like that night,
Yeah.
Unless you're really not doing anything and you have nothing in your car. But if you're a little bit buzzed or you have some weed, they'll fucking stick it to you as hard as they can. That's what everyone says down here. And you see it. You see, like, you don't just see cops on the side of the road, like, writing tickets and kind of hanging out. They're like, it's always serious. When you drive by, it's always both people out of the car, guy leaning against the car, like, looking scared and stuff like that. And I was watching these two guys get arrested, and this other guy just walked up like, what's going on? He was all fucked up. Within minutes, he was in handcuffs too. I was like, you just walked up.
That's every episode of Cops. Like it literally.
But I was like, you could have just. And
I
then.
just had a story.
Yeah, and then after that, these two people in the parking lot got in like a fender bender in another part of the parking lot, and they were arguing. So then, like, one cop had to like break off and go deal with that. And Jimmy was like, let's get the fuck out of here. It felt like if you hung out in that parking lot long enough, you'd end up in jail too.
It's gonna happen to him. He's there for double the time you are. It's gonna be.
We get in the car today. Jimmy's like, I'm not even halfway through this yet. It is crazy. Everyone talks about it. Remember when I always said before I left, I was like, it feels like a little bit like it is going to be like camp. Like we'll all be.
Yeah, and it is.
And there's moments like that too, especially when we all get together, like, because everyone's doing a different job down here. Obviously, we're doing comedy shows. The Nesson guys are here to work and film ball players. The ball players are here to play ball. Even concessions people, like the guys who sell beer, most of them work for other major league teams, and they're here to get their spring training in, to get their
Wow.
the real serious beer guys. Like the guy who's near me all the time, he works for the Colorado Rockies all regular season, but he comes down here to get a little practice, make a little scratch, like before the season starts. I'm like, that's nuts. So there's all kinds of people here for a month or for a chunk of time. A lot of the sports guys go back and forth to Boston like 2 or 3 times during the month. But it's something else, man, and we all get together at night and kind of talk about what is this place doing to you?
What happened to you today? Yeah.
Like what happened, and then someone's like, what did you see? And guess what I saw? And you tired all the time? I'm tired all the time. Like it's a lot of that.
This flat Earth thing's making a lot of sense.
Yeah, and especially when we first got here, like a guy had just died on the field.
Oh,
Nick
yeah.
Frado had just died. Blake Swihart's brother died like day 2.
Yeah.
One of the guys who works for Nesson brought his dog down, and like his dog was like sick, and he had to rush it to the ER. Everyone thought the dog was died. Dog was fine though. Dog had nothing wrong with it. It was just Florida.
Yeah.
Dog, like panting like crazy. Weird little things were just happening to people, and it was like everyone was getting a little bit of like, we're in Hades right now, man.
Well, it's your time there is ending, Will. Do you want to wrap this up or?
I want to do Just Shave It, bro, while I can see.
Okay, so sorry.
Let's wrap it up with Just Shave It, bro.
Shit, I lost.
Oh, also, did you see Steve Sweeney was on the Joe Rogan podcast?
I fucking loved it. It was one of the best Rogans in a while.
I watched it. That's probably the best person I know who's been on Rogan. I was thinking. I was watching it. I was like, I don't know if I've ever watched someone I know on this show. Like I've watched people I know a little bit on that show.
Yeah,
but it was
exactly.
It was interesting to watch someone I see all the time, and he was good. It was interesting though. I was kind of weird. I felt like he was holding back a little bit.
I loved it. I don't know. Like, I only know about him really. Well, I know about him as a comedian, but his Buddhism and all that stuff, and I knew some of that through you. I think you told me about that, or someone did.
Yeah.
Maybe I made that up.
No. I'm a pro Sweeney guy. Not everyone is. I am. I'm a big time fan.
All right, so here we go. Man, this is the Just Shave It, bro. Man allegedly, it was a low tip, and then he dipped his ball sack into the whatever food he was delivering. It was like a 79% tip.
Is this Florida?
Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
Tennessee, man. Hang on.
They have a segment on the news here called Only in Florida, which I'm like, that's just
It's Florida, man.
the whole show.
Hang on, it's not loading the picture of him, which kind of defeats the purpose of Just Shave It, bro. It was on the show earlier, but.
Did you see Rob Saul said in chat? He's hitting his pen now. Will Noonan changed my life with convincing me to do THC. I'm so much calmer now. I also convinced him to read The Joy of Living, which is like my book I always recommend to people who are having stress problems. Trying to get my girl to read it. She's stressed with her job. It's a great book, but Rob Saul's a great dude. Who I hope he's had sex. He's like, his virginity is growing back, and he's open about it.
All right, here we go. I got this guy's picture now. So this man is a perfect candidate for Just Shave It, bro. We don't have to like him. I hate him too because I already have this issue with food. I almost have to prepare all of my own food at this point because I know people are always dipping their balls in all of my stuff.
You would have a hard time down here.
I would die. I'd be eating
There's
Skippy
been some
peanut
moments
butter.
there's been some moments here where like I just bought someone like gave me a piece of fruit and they're like, I just got this off a stand from a lady, and I'm like, I'm like, what's gonna happen to me? All right, I'm looking at this dude's picture. Oh my God, this dude needs to shave everything.
Yeah.
That's
How old do you think he is? Don't look at the article. This is we're gonna have to do this in every one, and I know like it skews
on
it.
him. I'm gonna guess 43.
Yeah, 31. 31, and you can't tell because there's no side view, but he has those stupid ears with the stupid holes in them.
Oh, the gauges.
I hate everything about this person.
That guy's 31.
31. He looks like he shot John Lennon. He looks.
He's the first guy that could be John Lennon and shoot John Lennon.
Yeah.
He's got those glasses of a psychopath too. Like, they're not really black framed like I'm in Weezer.
Yeah, no, yeah. These are like the free government ones that really make you wonder about a person.
Exactly. Yeah, those are like the doctor just gives you those to get you out of his office.
Yeah.
I hate this man.
This guy's
Rob
a danger. This guy's
Rob
a fucking
says
danger.
he hasn't had sex, but he has started the joy of living and soon hopes to be enjoying the joy of vagina.
God bless him.
We want you. That'll be a segment of the show. If Rob does have sex, we'll have to do a whole episode based on that. So this guy's 100% a just shave it, bro.
Yeah, 100%. Like I don't know. I hate everything about it because this is like really one of my things. Like he's filthy. He shouldn't be delivering food. First of all.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Like there's got to be some requirement. I don't know what they are, but there has to be.
He's the guy that I would give him like the address of the place around the corner and pick up my food.
Yeah.
And then walk it home so this guy doesn't know where my address is. Yeah, he's awful.
The ears too. Those fucking gauges in people's ears. Dumbest thing.
What's
people
weird?
have ever done.
He'll go to the work to do that, but he's clearly not taking care of himself in any other way. Like that's not a trimmed beard. That's just a beard.
Well, it's a beard he trimmed. He's doing something because like the middle's longer. You know what I mean? Like
he must get in there once in a while, but that's a thick, mean beard he's got there.
Which is fine. Like I'm not even against that. It's the head's worse. The head's offensive.
I think he's got a little bit of a lazy eye too.
Yeah, that's his best feature though.
Adds a little bit of zaniness to the rape. What's the charge again? He dipped his balls in people's food?
Yeah, I don't know what the actual yeah.
I was just talking, I just heard a story about a comedian who made just a joke about that and was fired for life and banned from the club for just making it. Taken off stage and then banned for life from the club for doing it.
That's silly.
It is silly, but when I heard the story, I was like, I wouldn't say that either. That's something I would think maybe to say, but I would go, ugh,
Yeah.
They'll be pissed. They'll be mad at me.
Sometimes those things feel like they're already looking to fire that person. They're like, this is the reason, we finally get it.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know what I just had an idea. This is even more work for us, but I think this would be a funny thing we could do in the future with Just Shave It, bro. We'll do a very poor job of like Photoshop
for them.
Like shaving it for them, see what it would look like. So like if a guy is a Just Shave It Bro candidate, then we can actually show it.
I like that. I had like another idea of like not to shoot things on the air, but like
I think that's fine.
What's that like murder, hate, kill type of thing? Marry.
Oh yeah.
Instead of one of those, the last one's haircut.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah, fuck, marry, haircut. Like it's a threesome. No.
It's not a bad idea at all. This whole podcast just slowly devolves into just being about hair.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it's about.
So here's the thing. We'll wrap up with what's coming up. So I think when I'm back, we should continue like Skyping a little bit and have some guests, right?
Yeah.
So we got Jasmine Mason, Gigi Mason, who's a Pro Bowler. We can announce it.
Which is awesome. We can announce.
She's in training right now. She's joining the PWBA, which is the Pro Women's Bowling Association.
That's freaking awesome.
So she's gonna be on, and can't be more excited. I have like a lot of technical bowling questions for her too, but I'm also kind of excited to just talk to her because she's actually, I think, gonna be pretty famous. I think we're getting her at the beginning.
She's pretty awesome too. She's seems
pretty
like a
awesome.
powerhouse in her sport right now, from the clips you've shown me. So
yeah, well, she's a powerhouse. She's a great bowler, but also, she's got the side hustle of being the first African American to win singles gold for the USA, and I think that's African American, not just woman. That's of all man and woman.
That's awesome.
She's a 3-time Olympic gold medalist, and she's founded her own company called Got Game LLC, and she just really wants to promote bowling for young chicks and, just everybody. Like the same kind of thing. Well, bowling's shit.
Yeah, exactly. And when you think of bowling, you actually don't think of women's bowling, so it's actually kind of awesome.
Yeah, and this is kind of, I don't know if this is wrong to say, but I watch a lot of women's bowling technique because I'm throwing a 14-pound ball. I'm not super strong. I'm not really like built like some of these guys. So a woman's pro bowling stroke or whatever, her release and stuff like that might actually work just as well for a guy or as for a woman. So there's some women out there who I'm like, man, they have a perfect release.
That's
what I mean?
That's smart.
So I watch a lot. I don't know if that's messed up to say, but I don't think so. You know what I mean? I think it's that kind of sport. But then another guest I have for us, and I'm excited about this. He's an author who's got a book coming out about Greg Giraldo.
That's awesome.
One of our favorite comics. So his name's Matt. I think it's Balaker. I don't want to say Ball Laker, but he wrote a book. He sent me a PDF copy of the book. I'll send it to you. See, now we're getting advanced copies, Paul, of books.
Now I have to read books? No.
We're legit. Yeah, we don't have to, but I just want to read it in general. I'm psyched that someone's writing a book about Greg Giraldo. So
that is pretty badass. That's
do
awesome.
that.
It's a big things.
Big things in the future for the Noonan Show, and back in Southie, me and Paul will be back in the same room next week.
We're there, buddy.
We're there. It happened.
We did.
It's fine. The worst part about this trip was waiting for it.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's your last days. Now it's like summer camp. You're gonna miss everyone.
It's starting to feel weird, and it's summer camp in the way that I still have 3 days, but it feels like that's like practically it's over. You know what I mean? Because I've been here for 14 days or something. 13 days. I've been here. Wait, what's today? Thursday? So tomorrow will be 2 weeks. I've been here 13 days, yeah.
Nice.
They're digging my grave.
So we'll sign off with that. We'll see you pretty soon.
See you soon. Thank you, Paul, for handling all the technical stuff as always.
Thank you. Hopefully it worked. Hopefully it's not too crazy because I couldn't monitor it too well. So hopefully it's good.
No, it'll be fine. And people who listen to this, they're used to a little bit of wonky.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Great hanging with you, Paul. I'll see you Sunday, brother.